Hi everyone, my name is Brittney Morales, and today I'm going to be presenting on my topic, using advocacy to make an impact through public relations. So I hope to, after graduation, after having spent all this time at Biola learning how to do public relations, how to integrate my faith with my field of study and my field of work, I hope to go into being a public relations and social media strategist that works with nonprofit organizations and small local businesses to help them get their word out and get their message across. I hope to be an advocate to help make change through small nonprofits. So to me, public relations is about storytelling. Public relations is about using a message that a brand or an organization or a company has to tell a story, to connect and reach to their audience. I think through a story, when we're telling a story, or when we're hearing a story at least, we tend to put ourselves in the shoes of the protagonist in that story. So if we use storytelling to communicate public relations, then we're having our audience jump in and listen with us and know what we're saying and be a part of that. And storytelling is just an effective way to communicate because it brings about change in our audience. If they're a part of the story, they know what's going on, then they can want to make a change with us and with our organization. Personalizing your story is an effective part of storytelling because it allows us to make emotional connections with nonprofit organizations. Something that's really good about nonprofits is that they have the ability to touch emotions, to pull out heartstrings, to really connect with the people who are listening to them. So if they catch that and they're able to use that, then it really benefits them. So if you take a look at these are two titles for a story. The first one is New Brewery Opens on First Street, and the second one is Local Entrepreneur Overcomes Physical Handicap to Launch the City's First Brewery. Now, the first one, it's kind of just very bland. It says exactly what's going on. It's straight to the point. It's very basic for an article. However, the second one is about the exact same thing, but it actually brings you into what's being talked about in this article. You want to know, it's kind of like a story in this one title. It's like 10 words, but it conveys a really big message, and it makes you want to jump in and know more about this person and how he overcame a handicap, he or she overcame a handicap, and how they did what they did, because you know a lot more about them and you know more of a full story rather than just a title of an article. So here is an example of a public relations campaign that used storytelling to convey a message. As soon as it loads. Sorry, a little. So this video was made by Charity Water, which is an organization that brings fresh, clean water to third world countries. And this video, there was no words to it. There was a few words on the screen, but nobody said anything. You just saw a story. You saw people who you can assume didn't have fresh water before, who have it now, who have clean water, who even have jobs now because of the fact that they have clean water. They have the ability to work, and their economy is boosting just because of this clean water. And in 30 seconds, that whole message is conveyed. And this organization is using this message to help make us want to make a change, help us want to be a part of what's going on with them. So I think it's a very good example of telling a story, and telling a story that works in a very short amount of time, but one that makes a very big impact. So this organization is an advocate for clean water for these people. And the next thing I think public relations is communication. PRSSA, I'm sure most of you know this definition already, but public relations is a strategic communication process that builds mutually beneficial relationships between organizations and their publics. Now, to me, this just says communication, two-way communication completely. With advocacy public relations, it's all about telling a message, but it's also about letting your audience tell you a message back. You want to hear back, you want to hear how, they want to hear how what you have to say is going to help them and other people, but they want to hear back from you. The organization wants to know how you participated, how you've liked their campaigns, how you've liked the strategies they've used, and how it can change lives, essentially. So an internship experience that really helped me learn what communication and public relations is my internship with Biola's public relations department. Last semester, I was a part of the Biola team, and it really helped me to learn about communicating to an audience. It helped me learn about what audiences are and the different strategies that you can use to reach different audiences. Because every organization is going to have different audiences. It's not just going to be one main primary audience. You always have your secondary audiences. You always have so many different kinds of people who are going to listen to your story and who want to hear your story. And so it's really important to reach out to every different type. For Biola, as a student myself, I didn't even know how many different audiences that the school tries to reach with the message of God and the message of what they're doing in this university. And so I got to write articles for the Biola Now website, which is like Biola's online newsroom that, in all honesty, I didn't even know existed. But it's a really great newsroom for media and outside communities and incoming students to come and look at and see what we're doing and how this university is actually making a change in the community, in the neighborhood, in the nation even. So it was a really good experience to learn about writing and about writing for PR. I got to write a lot of press releases that focused on people in this community, in the Biola community, and it was really great to know, to just get that experience and to learn how even writing an article can communicate a message, and a message that's really important. So my whole thing is about using advocacy to make an impact through public relations. So of course I have to talk about what advocacy is. So Webster's Dictionary defines advocacy as public support for or a recommendation of a particular cause or policy. To me, this just means publicly supporting something and doing something about it. Being an advocate to me means really just putting yourself out there and helping that organization. I'm studying public relations, so obviously I want to go into that field, but I want to go into that field with the idea that I want to help others, that I want to help organizations, nonprofits, and small businesses to get their message across, because they have really important messages that need to be reached to other people. And if I'm an advocate for their message, then I can use public relations to create a change within the communities that they're trying to reach. So nonprofit organizations are at work on issues of critical social importance. They do so much work. They do so much good. Of course, they're going to be your nonprofits who are basically scams, who are not doing any good, who are just collecting money from themselves and saying, yeah, we're doing good. But there are also organizations that really try to help people. You have like UNICEF, you have your national organizations who help a lot of different people, and you also have your local nonprofits, your local centers for helping people. And I really hope to go into working, whether I'm working for a national nonprofit or a local nonprofit, I really hope to go into helping create social change. And so creating social change can be done through public relations by educating the audience, giving a call to action, and leaving an impact. So educating the audience. As public relations professionals, we could use advocacy to accomplish an organization's goal, and we use it by providing a platform and using that platform to spread a message. So an example of this was the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which I know so many people who did, and some of them were even really creative about. I had one friend who he made like a really dramatic video on Instagram, and he cut out a bunch of little pictures of the rapper Ice Cube, put him into a bucket and like dumped him on his head, and he said, however many likes this gets, that's how much money I'm going to donate to the cause. And this just shows, because I'm sure we all know everyone who participated in this, right? At least someone who participated in it. So this just goes to show that this one campaign that was done for research for the Lou Gehrig's or the ALS disease, it gained a national audience. So many people participated, and then so many people learned about the disease and how they could help. So PR always requires a call to action. Once the audience knows what needs to be done, they need to know how they could help. ASPCA is a really good example of this because they're everywhere. You don't even see their name on this, but I'm sure you could assume that it's ASPCA. And one thing that they do really well is they always have a call to action. At the very bottom it says you can help save lives. And so just knowing that, you could go to their website, you can be prompted to donate to help them, to contribute to their cause. One way that I learned about advocacy was by interning with Project Sister Family Services, which is a local rape crisis and prevention center. And I've been volunteering with them for the last 5 years, but interning with them has really showed me how advocacy can be used and how public relations can be used to be an advocate for an organization. I'm their social media intern, so I relay messages to people who follow them on social media, and it's a really good experience because it's taught me that I can use social media, something that so many of us use on a daily basis for our own personal gain, to educate the audiences that follow us, to tell them what we do and tell them why it's so great. So once you tell an audience what needs to be done, once you tell them what to do, you have to leave them with a lasting impact. Nonprofits are great about this because they can touch heartstrings, they can use their emotional pool to make an impact. This photo is a part of the water charity campaign, and it's just a photo that they have on their website. But from this, you can see how their water and how clean water is changing so many lives. It's just a photo of smiling little girls who are trying to get water, but you can tell through this that their impact on their lives is like really great, and that it's really changing their lives, just the fact that they have clean water. And so if an organization tells you what to do, tells you how to do it, and then you do it, if you donate, once you donate, if you see a photo like this, it's not something you're gonna forget. It's so many smiling faces, it's gonna leave an impact. So when you see this, you say, yeah, I made a difference. Even if it's donating $5, that still makes a difference. So it's important to let them know that they are making a difference and leave an impact on them as well. This is one last example that I have, and it's the Girl Up organization, which is a United Nations foundation. And I think they're a really great organization that uses advocates to reach people. Now, what they do is they are trying to help girls who are unaccounted for in different, like, third world countries, and they get high school students here to advocate for those girls who aren't accounted for in different countries. Girls all over the nation are starting clubs and joining groups to help spread the word about this. And I just think it's a really great example of advocacy and using. It's just a good thing for me to look at it. This is the kind of organization that I hope to work for one day, that has a national platform and is using their platform to do good in the world. So post-graduation goals. Looking at this picture just makes me smile because I know that one day I'm going to graduate and I'm going to be able to use everything that I learned here to actually make an impact and create change in the world, hopefully at least. I'm really glad that I got the chance to go to Biola because it's allowed me to integrate my faith, my personal beliefs, my ethics, and my values into the work that I want to do in the future, and into everything that I'm doing. So my post-graduation goal is to work for an organization that allows me to help them make a change in the world. Thank you all for your time. Now we have about 5 minutes for questions and answers, if anyone has.